All right, so we are going to go over the chapter 2. This should not say test, it's supposed to say study guide. Sorry, guys. All right, so number 1 is 7 times negative 9. So those are different signs. So we get a negative 63. We're dividing, and so those are same sign, so our answer is going to be positive. And so 56 divided by 7 gives us 8. 65 divided by negative 5, we're going to have a negative answer. We get negative 13. Same sign, so when we multiply them, it's going to be positive, so we get positive 44. We have to change this into an improper fraction, so 8 times 1 is 8, plus 1 is 9, so we have negative 9 over 8 times 1/3. It's different signs, so our answer is going to be negative. 9 times 1 is 9. 8 times 3 is 24. And then we're going to simplify this by dividing by 3. And we get negative 3 over 8. You could have done the same thing by cross simplifying. So this divide by 3 and we get 1, divide by 3 and we get 3. And you would have gotten the exact same answer. This is division. We have to keep change flip. So we have negative 2/3 times, because we have to change this, the multiplication or the division sign to multiplication, and we get a flip, which is negative 4 over 3, multiply straight across, and we get positive 8 over 9. Over here, you won't have a calculator on the test, so we're going to have 63. We get rid of the decimals. And 35. 35 goes into 63 one time. And we get 28. And we subtract that. Add a 0 and bring it down. 35 goes into 280 8 times. So our answer is going to be negative 1.8. When we multiply, again, you won't have a calculator on the test, so make sure that you know how to multiply. So 2 times 7 is 14, carry the 1. 2 times 4 is 8, plus 1 is 9. Bring a 0. And then 7 times 3 is 21. And then 12 plus 2 gives us 14. Add these together. And then there's 2 numbers after the decimal. And so our decimal is going to go in front of the 0. So we get 15.04. And it's positive because the whole thing is positive, or 2 negatives make a positive. 15 goes into 19 one time. That gives us 15. It goes into 40 2 times. That gives us 30. 15 goes into 100 6 times, and that's going to give us 90. Sorry, it's going to be hard to read. We keep getting 100, so that means we're going to have a repeating decimal. Our decimal is in between the 1 and the 2, and so we get an answer that is 1.26, and the 6 is repeating. So to write this as a fraction, we write it how we say it. So we have negative 0 and 76 hundredths. And now we'll simplify that. This is not in simplest form, so we're going to divide. The common denominator between both, or the common multiple between both of those is 4. And so we're going to divide by 4. And 76 divided by 4 gives us 19 over 25. So to write this as a fraction, we write it how we say it. So we have negative 2 and 2400ths. And we can divide by 4 on this one. So don't forget your negative 2, your whole number needs to come down. And then we have 6 over 25. All right, so evaluate the expression, write your answer as a fraction or mixed number in simplest form. Got cut off, so I had to rewrite it. But we need to turn the bottom into common denominators first, so we can add them. And so I have 1/4, I'm gonna go off to the side, plus, and we know that 1, we can write any number as that, a number over itself, and it'll give us 1. So 4 over 4 would actually give us 1. And then this gives us 5 over 4. So now we have negative 3/2 over 5 over 4. We're going to multiply by the reciprocal. That's not right. And then multiply straight across. These cancel. And I have negative 12 over 10. We can simplify that to 10 goes into 12 one time. Keep our negative with 2 tenths left over, which equals negative 1 and 1/5. All right, evaluate. Negative x plus y squared divided by 9. So we're going to plug in a 3. So we have negative 3 is now our x plus negative 6 squared divided by 9. That's a 9. Sorry, guys. So PEMDAS says we have to do this first. So we have negative 3 plus 36 because that negative is on the inside of the parentheses because it's our whole y. And divide by 9. 36 divided by 9 gives us 4 plus negative 3. These are different signs, so when we are adding, we're actually subtracting. So negative, nope, not negative, sorry. Positive 1 would be our answer because 4 minus 3 is 1. So it says to fill in the box to make this statement true. So we know that something times negative 2/3 will give us a positive 1. So we know that our whatever we're multiplying by has to be a negative. And then what we need to do is flip this fraction because we are multiplying by the multiplicative inverse. So that means that we're going to do 3 over 2. And to check our work, 2 times 3 equals 6. 3 times 2 equals 6. That simplifies down to 1, so we know we got it right. You play a game on your phone. For every correct move you make, you receive 50 points. For every second that it takes you to complete the game, you lose 3 points. You complete the game in 2 minutes and 12 seconds using 30 correct answers. What is your score? So we're going to first take 2 times 60 to figure out how many seconds was in 2 minutes. We get 120. And then we have to add that to our 12, and we get 132. But we know that we lose 3 points every time for every second that we are playing the game. So we have negative 3 because we lost it times 132. And we're going to add that to our 30 points for every 50, for every 30. We had 30 correct moves for 50 points each. So now we're going to multiply each of these. And so I got negative 396 plus a positive 1,500. And now we're going to add those together. So our score was 1,104. So you have $6.96 and you buy 6 items that cost 79 cents each. How much money will you have left? So we're going to multiply 6 times 79 cents. And we have $4.74. So we are going to subtract that. And we get $2.22 left over. So find the next two numbers in the pattern. So we are dividing by a -5 each time. And so 50 divided by -5 will give us -10. And -10 divided by a -5 will give us +2. All right, so we have -1/3. So when I multiply those together, I get 9 over 1, so 1/9, sorry, 1 over 9. And then I'm going to add that to 5/6 times -1/2. I have to multiply these two now. So 5 times 1 is -5. 6 times 2 is 12. And I have to add these together, but you need to find common denominators. So we need to find our LCM. Our LCM is 36. So we have multiply by 4 on this side, 3 on this side. So we have 4, 36 plus -15, 36. And we're going to subtract, and we get -11 over 36, and that will be our answer. So Mercury travels 107,100 miles per hour. And it wants to know how far Mercury will travel in, I cannot talk. Mercury will travel in 3 seconds. So this is seconds, and this is miles per hour. So we're going to divide by 60, and when we divide by 60, this will give us in how many minutes Mercury travels, which is 1,785, but this is in minutes. So now I'm going to have to divide again, so I'm going to do divided by 60 again, because there's 60 seconds in a minute, and I get 29.75 per second. But now I want to know per 3 seconds, so I'm going to do 29.75 times 3, and I get 89.25. A rectangular prism has a length of 5/6 inches and a width of 2/5 inches. The volume of the prism is 4/9 cubic inches. Find the height of the prism. So volume is equal to length times width times height. And we know that the volume is 4/9. Our length is 5/6, so we're just plugging it in. And our width is 2/5, and we still don't know our height. So now we're going to multiply these. So 5 times 2 is 10. And then 6 times 5 is 30. And that's our height. To get it to go to the other side, we need to turn this into a 1 on this side. To get this to turn into a 1, so that way we just have 1h, or 1 height, we're going to multiply this side by the multiplicative inverse. So we're going to multiply by 30 over 10. So that way these cancel, and we're just left with our h. So now we have h equals, but whatever happens on this side, we have to do to this side. So we also have to multiply by 30 over 10. So I'm going to cross simplify. 9 can be divided by 3, and so can 30. 30 divided by 3 is 10. 4 can be divided by 2, and so can 10. So 10 times 2 is going to give us 20 over 15. Both can be divided by 5. So we have 4 over 3 is our height.